So you're just starting out as a dungeon master, and roleplay is a little bit intimidating, which can be a problem considering the fact that Dungeons & Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game. Well, I've got some good news, which is the case that I've just come up with 5 quick tips for any beginner DM on how to utilize roleplay to your best advantage. You don't have to be a playwright, a script writer, or professional voice actor to do any of these tips, and we're going to break it down so that way then you guys have some smooth, quick, and simple gameplay. But before we get into the video, quickly, first things first, hi, I go by Soulfire, this is my sanctuary, the wayward stop for any beginner DM or experienced dungeon master, TTRPG player, what have you, where we go over things from the basics to more experienced stuff, talking about homebrew magical items, Dungeons & Dragons stories. How can you be a better games master in general? This is hopefully your one-stop shop for any resource material that you might need, and of course, pointing you into the right directions if we don't provide it. So, anyway, if you end up liking the sound of this video, please do give this thing a like. If you end up wanting to see more content like this, please do give this channel a subscribe. Please do end up just writing out your ideas, thoughts, anything in the comments section. And also, don't forget to share with your friends to let them know about this type of stuff if you want to end up increasing your experience in your TTRPG table. And also, don't forget to ring the notification bell because, well, YouTube can be sometimes problematic in showing people, when we release stuff. But anyway, let's go on with the video, shall we? Starting off with tip number 1, don't fret way too much on fleshing out all of your NPCs to the point where they've got full stat sheets. Simply put, when it's coming to NPCs, especially ones that are going to be reoccurring, but you're just beginning to introduce them, all you really need to do at the start is ideally give them some type of defining trait, whether this being the case that they are a paranoid shop vendor, maybe they're always on the search for a bargain, or maybe just in general they have a nonchalant approach to everything, or that they just don't really want to be involved. Any type of clear trait that defines the character on a bullet point system really works and is really effective and helps you as the dungeon master be able to quickly remember what is this character all about. Now, obviously, if you have a NPC that is going to be showing up on a regular interval, maybe having some more details like a backstory, what are their motivations, stuff like that, can be very handy, but it isn't something that you're going to need for every single NPC, especially if you have the situation where the party just is talking to a random NPC off the street. My advice is to come up with some form of around about 10 simple bullet point traits, and if they are just grabbing an NPC off of the street, you can use those 10 points as a table where you can then roll a d10 and you'll be able to quickly figure out what is this trait to give them without having to think lots and lots about it. Now moving on to tip number 2, let players shape the story. What I mean by this is really the yes and rule. A lot of the time when you're just starting out as a dungeon master, games master, you will sometimes worry about limiting your players a little bit too much. And so a normal rule that people follow is the yes and rule, or the yes but rule, which is the case that you agree to what the player is wanting to do, however you can apply limitations or additional quirks into this. This allows your players to adjust your story however they deem fit and be able to add in their own little, as people would say, a bit of je ne sais quoi. Really their own spice into the story. And trust me, this is an incredibly good thing to do in your games because of the simple case that it makes things that much spicier. Yes, you as a dungeon master have a story to tell, but your players are actors in this story. They all have their own little quirks that they want to add in to spice things up and add in their own little touch into the story. So adding the yes and rule is a very simple way to do this and will really spice things up, keep you on your toes, but have some fun along the way while you're doing it. And another good way to spice up your games while also keeping things relatively simple is tip number 3, which is to not fret over voice acting. Like, don't get me wrong, adding in silly voices into your games can be incredibly fun, and for certain NPCs, certain characters, we want to do that. But don't fret every time about having the pitch perfect accent. Because at the end of the day, unless you are a professional voice actor, which I want to say probably about 99.5% of the entire people who play Dungeons and Dragons are not professional voice actors, don't worry about it so much. All you have to do is add in some body language and get a rough tone of the character, and that can infer just as much as an actual accent, whether you're wanting to add in a crazy scientist who is mad about his machines, or you're having some type of evil-like assistants ready to help. There's so many different voices that you can put in and infer, but it's also a combination of body language combined with just general tone. Because you can still do the exact same approach just by changing up your speech pattern a little bit, or you can end up just adjusting things just a little bit more, and it's the exact same characters but done in just slightly different ways. And it's simple, but it's very effective and confers the exact same idea, and it gives you a wide range of different voices and different approaches that you can take to every single NPC or character. But another way to quickly spark roleplay ideas into your games is really to focus on getting your players involved with roleplay, which is with tip number 4, which is just ask questions that help spark roleplay ideas. The easiest way to infer this is to just ask your players, what does their character do? How does the paladin, say, order their food at a tavern? What are they ordering? Do they ask the bartender in a quick, harsh manner, or are they going to be asking quite politely? Is this going to have an impact at the tavern? Or how does the thief handle a beggar pleading for money? Are they actually going to look down on the downtrodden and remember that in their backstory, their character ended up going through harsh times, and so they end up giving a little back to help out because they've been there before? Or are they going to scoff and laugh at the case that they've got the money and this person doesn't? Like, yeah, I get it, that's evil, but that's for your players to decide. It's their character, and they get to decide how they wish to play their character. And really, you're just giving them the opportunity to really make this character feel that much more fleshed out. You can do the same things with shady merchants, kings, queens, any form of nobility. Basically, anytime your characters are in cities, amazing opportunity to do roleplay. And even when they're not in cities, still amazing ways to do roleplay, which leads into tip number 5, which is how you can enrich exploration and combat using roleplay. Because, yes, roleplay is incredibly important in the TTRPG systems. But it's not the only one. In Dungeons and Dragons, we have 3 core pillars, which is specifically roleplay, combat, and exploration, which all have their own unique things going on, and we'll go into the others in later videos. But an easy way that you really can spread this out into the other sections, which is always recommended, is that, say, when you're exploring, you could have a rival party trying to also explore the same area. Maybe they're going through a dungeon together and they're both racing to see who can get to the bottom to get the treasure first, right? But as your adventuring party is going through this dungeon, you could have this other adventuring party throw out some jabs and snide remarks to end up adding in that just extra bit of roleplay. During the middle of combat, you could have villains throwing out words, either insulting the party or throwing out commands, being whether that they need to focus on the wizard or focus on the barbarian. Maybe it's release the kraken. There's lots of different moments in both exploration and combat where you can throw in different roleplay experiences that really just help flesh everything out and tie the 3 core pillars together. So all in all, those are my 5 beginner tips for just starting out and getting into roleplay really. So again, quick run off of everything. Give your NPCs simple traits, not scripts. Let players share the story. Don't fret over imperfect voices. Ask questions that help bring out roleplay. And don't forget to tie roleplay into the other 2 core pillars. Remember, roleplay isn't just about purely funny voices or writing the perfect dialogue. It's about creating moments that your players will never forget. Try out these tips in your sessions and just see how it goes. I can almost guarantee you that you will really feel the difference. But if you did like this thing, please do give this video a like. If you want to see more content like this in the future, please do hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to comment any ideas, thoughts. What are your go-to tips specifically regarding roleplay in Dungeons and Dragons or other TTRPGs? Don't forget to share it with your friends so that way then they can get involved in the fun. And also don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can keep up to date as and when we create new videos. Also, quick shout out. So this video is actually being edited by my friend Liam, who appeared in the D&D Homebrew Magic Item collab that we did with Get Wrecked D&D. This is first time trying out editing videos for the channel. So please, what did you think? Do you like his jokes? Do you like some fun with it? Like, let us know down in the comments. But either way, thank you, Liam. Thank you, viewers, for watching this thing, and I hope you have a good one. I really hope that these tips are helpful to you. I hope you had some fun with it. I hope it sparks some ideas, and I hope you try these tips out in the future. But in the meantime, my friends, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you all again soon. In the meantime, bye bye.